I'm talking about not for a cure, okay? So that's for a vaccine. That's to help stop the spread. It does not help you if you're already sick. It literally just helps stop the spread. So if you don't understand this stuff and you don't realize what's going on right now, this is more serious than people realize, and it's better safe than sorry, okay? We've never experienced, something like this in most people's lifetime. So it doesn't seem real. It seems like something from the movies, but keep in mind that most of these movies are loosely based on reality or just a spun version of it. So, when you see this stuff about the bank runs and, in all these old movies and everything, or you see these zombie movies or, these post-apocalyptic movies or whatever, like, it sounds crazy if you live in America or whatever, but look at, videos of, you know, or pictures of countries like Iran, 30 years ago before like war and famine and all this stuff hits. And, it's not that hard to believe that societies can essentially like go backwards in time due to like, war or sickness or, epidemics like this. So be very careful. And again, I don't mean to scare everybody. I'm not trying to like, worry anybody or anything like that. I'm just trying to be an actual realist. Okay, I understand how these things work, and I want to ask you a real question right now. Okay, markets went down, in many cases 10 to 20%. All right, did you sell? I'm not talking about ahead of time because I'm not gonna lie. I sold ahead of time. I was out of the markets in very very large percentages. Especially like traditional stock markets and crypto. So I did. I sold ahead of this. I sold coming into it. I missed some of the last bits of gains too. But I'm talking about, did you sell in this massive dump? Did you sell? Did someone you know sell? Your friends? Your family? No. That was honestly, I think all that selling was one, rebalancing portfolios, and two, bots and algorithms. I don't even think we've seen the big stuff coming in yet. Because now I'm going to tell you right now, most people are trading like thousands or tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands or $1 million or whatever, okay? We're chump change, all right? These big investment funds, these billion-dollar, these trillion-dollar funds, okay? Their main job isn't even to outperform the market. Like most of these funds, Warren Buffett doesn't even outperform the market. There's so much money. All they're trying to do is just make consistent gains. Okay, that's their main job, is to just make gains with this massive amount of money because the liquidity is not there for them. It's easy for you or me to make 10% and then get out of something. You can't do that with $1 trillion. You can't do that with $100 billion, with $10 billion, with $1 billion. Like, you move the markets, even big time markets. Okay, so you have to think that at some point in time, Warren Buffett and all these big time bosses and, hedge fund managers and all these people, at some point in time, they're getting a million calls a day and people saying, get me out of the market, get me out, it's not bouncing back, this, that, and the other. At some point in time, the big hedge funds and the big dogs got to think, okay, we're going to have to protect some of this capital. We're going to have to pull some of this money to the sidelines. So be aware that the potential is there. It's a real possibility that we could see massive dumps. All we did so far was just give back a little bit of the unrealistic gains. As companies start to go under, and like, keep in mind too that because of stock buybacks, that most companies are exponentially over leveraged. I'm going to get into this really quick too. Because the government has allowed these companies to do stock buybacks right now, like essentially normally what happens is a company owns some of its stock and then like Joe Schmo shares some of the stock as well. So, they get part of the gains, and then, if a company goes out of business or takes losses, they take part of the losses as well. But when you have a company doing like these mass buybacks, they're essentially ending up with like leveraged positions because they have leveraged loans and then they've repurchased their own stock now. So every bit of pain that they feel is leveraged exponentially because of that. So when they start really feeling pain and they start really feeling on the balance sheet and have to lay people off or not having money coming in, they're going to feel it exponentially. So I'm telling you right now, we need to be careful because this is a bubble pop scenario. I talked about this a while back, the black swan event, that triggers it all, the cascading waterfall. And again, I'm not saying that we don't get massive volatility to the upside. We're not just going to go straight down. We're not just going to go straight up. But I'm telling you right now, this is a change in structure. This is a change in markets This is a fundamental, real event that needs to be considered. And that being said, it's not financial advice. I'm not your financial advisor. These markets are extremely volatile, so please do your own research and trade responsibly. Crypto Trend Trader, and I hope you learned a little something today, guys. I just want to remind you real quick before I do get out of here that we are on the daily chart. This is Bitstamp. We're below the 200 moving average. We're getting a strong rejection Doge candle hammering us down here right now. Strong rejection off both 200s on the daily. You know, we still have plenty of time. It is Sunday, but we're getting our daily and our weekly close. It doesn't look good. I mean, look at that weekly candle right now. And that closes, you know, that closes in basically like 8 hours. So that's it. That's what our week looks like. Okay? That's what I told you about way back here. You remember when I was telling you that this looked exactly like this right here? It looked exactly like this area right here. Do you remember? You remember that? Yeah, you do. You guys been here. You seen it. You saw the whole thing. I told you we were going to get that tiny little push continuation up here to just fake everybody out in the market, and then that massive dump. And now here we are on the weekly, getting ready to close below the 21. All right. So what I would expect to happen is us to essentially see movements below or between 82 and 8700. We're just going to move around between the 50 and the 21 until we don't. But that's it, guys. This is the rejection. This is the strong move. Even if we get the bounce back up here and get a push all the way back above the 10, you know, back up to like 9,000, you know, it's still at this point in time, like, you know, we've resolved this trend and what's going to happen right here. We see the true form of the markets. You know, they've revealed themselves exactly like we talked about before it happened. You know, this is it. So let's see where all this happens. You know, this next 12 hours, 24 hours is going to be crazy. I mean, I cannot wait to see the volatility, but just please, number one, remember, protect your capital. Please be careful in these markets. But at this point in time, there's no reason to think that this rejection is not going to lead to further downside and a new low for Bitcoin, okay? I mean, I want to stay ambitious and say that we're going to find support at this trend line right here, but there is no reason to think that this can just as likely just blow right through here and we could come down and potentially take out at some point in time not only the $6,000 low right here, but potentially even threaten this $3,000 low, okay? Just be very careful because everybody is, once again, everyone's focused on, man, I give away all my secrets on these, but I don't mind because I know if you're watching right now, you're one of the good ones. Look, everybody's focused again on this green trend line, all right? That's the amateur trend line, all right? That's the amateur trend line. That's the market top to market bottom trend line, okay? That's the old news trend line, all right? Look at the blue one right here. What is this green trend line? That's a market top to the market bottom, okay? What is this blue one right here? That's a market top to the market bottom. This is the cycle parabolic trend line. Look where that is. They're saying we're going to find support here at the 618 and bounce back up. I'm not saying we're not going to, guys. I'm not saying we're not going to put in that inverted head and shoulders. Matter of fact, I said it before anyone, and I said it months ago, before it ever even happened. When we were down here, I said the best case scenario is we come up here, get rejected, come back down to this trend line, come back up, and then we get the breakout. But now look at this. Look right now. This parabolic trend line, the blue one right here, is market high to market low. And where does that come in at? That comes in at the 786 of this whole entire move, okay? And that comes in at $4,362 for both of them. Both the 786s for the blue and the green come in there at $4,381. And that's the exact same spot as the parabolic market top to market bottom trend line. Look, market top to market bottom trend line, okay? Market bottom, market top, market bottom, market top, market bottom, okay? Market top, this one will go to the market bottom. It's not valid yet though. You know what I mean? Because we don't know where the bottom's going to be. So this one, essentially, it'll be a third parabolic trend line that comes from here, market top to market bottom, once we get our next market cycle bottom, but we don't have that. So there you go, guys. Just pay attention. These people are all just taking a trend line that they saw on someone else's chart and then coming up with this whole big reason why it's valid and why this is going to save price and we've never broken down below it. But what they don't realize is that this is in fact the market bottom trend line or the market top trend line that we need to pay attention to. So that's it. It's not financial advice. I'm not your financial advisor. These market search can be volatile, so please do your own research and trade responsibly. Crypto trend trader, I'm out of here.